Welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 12th of August. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. What a strange week in Forex last week. We've done really well with gold, by the way. I think it's way over 500 pips during the week. So congratulations to VIP members who have the gold software. If you want to be a VIP member, then you know what to do. All the links are below. So let's go into the markets, and there's some odd things going on which I'll go over with you. The mauve indicates that they're not in a full parabolic trends. Parabolic trends are the most powerful trends you can get in the market, and they are highly profitable. And a parabolic trend by definition means that all the charts agree. Okay, so the mauve ones won't agree, the green ones will agree, the red flags will agree, and so on. So we'll go through each one of them, and I'll give you some of the highlights of what I think may happen next week. So start with the DXY. We start at the top in terms of correlation. So if the dollar is weak, then euro dollar goes up. If the dollar is strong, the euro dollar goes down. That's it, simple as that. So understanding correlation is really key to your success. We've got price action charts on the right, and what I'm looking for in particular is a breakdown of support, which has been, this is a week's worth of nothing, to be honest. But let's go into the daily chart and have a look, see what's going on. So there's a nice channel here to the downside. There's a bit of a support here at 102.16, the previous low, and I think it's going to get broken, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But I do expect the weak dollar to continue, and as long as it does, stays below this blue line, all the sellers are in, then what happens usually is the price moves big, and therefore you can make big profits. So we can see there's a strong low here at 10064, so that's going to be our second target. First target 102.16, then on to 10064. That being the case, we can be looking to buy euro dollar and a few other things. Now in terms of correlation, we need to understand where the yen futures is. The yen futures is strong. The intervention did work, and it's gone up since the 12th of July in the last month and continued up. I do expect this to continue. The price cycle is just coming down a little bit, probably into this support zone here, and this is what we call correlation. The previous week's high, the previous month's high, and this trend line, so it's likely to do this. Now once that does that, or if that does that, then of course what we'll be looking to do at this point here is to sell all the yens. So look out for that. That could be interesting. So our weekly target is 72.27, this strong high here. Now in terms of the Swiss franc futures, we can see the price cycle straight away. We can see that all the buyers are in, and plus we can see it's moving into a wave 4, which is really strong. So this is a week high, so I think this is going to go higher than this, but I'm going to stick with 12101 as the target for this week. We can see that the price is moving down into support, previous day's low, and may come down a bit deeper into this line here, which is probably the previous week's low, and then start to move up. That being the case, understanding correlation is your key, because as the Swiss franc moves up and goes stronger, the pound Swiss moves down, the Canadian Swiss moves down, the Euro Swiss moves down, and they are your opportunities for this week. And that's a bit of a clue as to what my favorite trades might be. So remember this chart, remember that the correlation is the key. If this wave 4, if this support area, price above the blue line with all the buys in, goes up in the next couple of days, then we can go short the Swiss pairs. Now the SP 500, FTSE 100, they're not trending, they're not doing anything, completely sideways. The German DAX looks good, all the sellers are in. We can look at price action, and we can see where the price cycle is, can't we? Straight away on the 4-hour chart. Let me extend that for you. So there's a couple of things that I need to see before going short on the DAX, German DAX. I can see that there is support at 17,555. So I want to see the price move down into this area and then start to move down. What I do like, I love, is the price cycle. This is fantastic and highly likely to fall with this trend line. And also notice that the trend line is pointing down. Doesn't mean it's going to do it, but using this resistance and support line actually tells you where it's going, not where it's been. The NASDAQ is looking also promising to the downside. There is a bit of a question mark on this because there is a wave 4 setting up on the left. Let me highlight this so we can see that this area here is support, and there is a bounce off this support line here at 17,035. This was our target for this week. We are going to stick with that. However, as you can see, a wave 4 is usually a continuation of a much longer trend. So we could see that the price is going to move up and we change our minds in the next few days. That being the case, then of course we'll be going long. The first thing is NASDAQ. Once we've got parabolic trends in place, and it looks like it wants to continue. Now, in order for this to work, of course, we do need the tensions in the Middle East to ease, because if they do and they sort themselves out, hopefully they will, then of course you might see a rally in the markets and the NASDAQ may be the one to watch. That being said, of course, if there's trouble in the Middle East, then of course all markets will continue down probably. The Dow Jones index is parabolic to the downside, as you can see, moving up to resistance into a wave 5. The wave 5 is now forming an ABC pattern, as you can see. So I think there is going to be a correction, but might not be as deep as this. It may not be as deep at all, depending what goes on in the week. So our target for this week on the Dow Jones is 3719. Actually make it a bit higher than that. There's a support line there, automatically given to you on your Advanced Pro charts. 37474. Now I've got oil here. Now again, it much depends on what happens in the Middle East and tensions across the world. If it kicks off, and hopefully it won't, then you may see a rallying oil, of course, because that's just the way it is. If it all turns out well, then I think there's going to be further downside. Hit our target for last week of $73. Congratulations if you sold that. And as long as the price remains below the blue line, we don't have a parabolic trend. Not all the buyers are in, all the sellers are in, so it's not clear. But I do expect this to go down further. Gold I need to talk about a little bit more. So let's just see what's going on here. This is not the gold software, this is the price action chart versus the daily. So the daily is probably a clearer one too. So you can see that it's definitely not in a parabolic trend. We can see that it's been up and down, up and down, up and down in the last few weeks. So this is not a parabolic trend. However, we can see that the price has now moved up into a very important area. Previous day high 24.27. A bit more than that, I think. However, I do think that we need to see the price move outside of this area. So I need to see the price move up here. And then this becomes a support before it goes up to 24.77 and then on to 24.84. Now, of course, if there's any tensions, as there, again, I keep saying it, hopefully there won't be, they'll sort it out, God willing, then of course this will settle down. However, we could see the price moving up to 2,500 and beyond, that being the case. So it's a little bit subjective, but nonetheless I do need to see the price move above this support resistance at the moment, but above this support area, and then see the price move up in the next, could be as soon as Monday, so look out for that. Euro dollar. Now let's cover euro dollar. Now remember what we said about the DXY and correlation. This is really, really important. And we can see that all the buyers are in, which is fantastic. We do have some divergence. This is interesting. Negative divergence doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reverse, but it can mean that there's momentum coming out of the price. So I do think that the price is going to come down to 108.27. You can see this convergence area into, there's an FEG there, there's a fair value gap, but I don't trade fair value gaps. I prefer to trade high liquidity zones, which this is, plus convergence. So I want to see the price move down to here, and then immediately it hits that, we'll be buying it and we won't be mucking about. So in terms of target, now this is dependent on, of course, the DXY going weak, and it looks like it wants to. So a weaker dollar means the euro dollar goes higher. So we're probably going to see something like this go on, bounce, and then up to the strong high. So I do expect the price to come into 11140 or below that. There's a middle ground there at about 11112. So somewhere in that kind of area will be a good target to have, and a lot of pips, by the way. Now the pound USD is weak, much weaker than the rest, which is normally they do much the same. So we can see that it is parabolic to the downside. We can see that all the sellers are in, but the price cycle indicates a possible move up. And there are some support areas here and trend lines which it may grab in the next few days. But however, I think with the market structure the way it is, I think we're going to see a rollover down to 126.18 or even 123.00. In order for that to work, of course, we do need the dollar to go strong. So we've got our eyes on both these things. So if we see euro dollar weak, we're going to go long euro dollar. If we see dollar strong, then we could see a much weaker sterling against the US dollar. New Zealand USD, I did post this into the VIP room the other day, and we've seen the price move up above the blue line, which is what we love to see. This is acting as support. We do have all the buys in. So we do expect the price to continue to 6156. Again, weaker dollar will drive this higher. US Canadian, I did post this into the signals room as a long-term trade. If you've got it, congratulations. And we'll just be moving our stops slowly, day by day. It just takes 5 minutes a day. So we can see that all the sellers are in. And this is what I like as well. The price cycle is looking good as well. Dollar weakness is required. As long as we've got that, then we can see that the price is going to go down. Never goes in a straight line, of course. We do have a wave 5 exhaustion phase, and then moving into an ABC pattern, which is common, and before it starts to roll over. The reason why we have wider stops, of course, is to allow for the price to move however it likes, and obviously to control your risk management and control your risks. But the wider stops will always make you more money than narrower stops. There are exceptions, but as a rule, with parabolic trends, you'll do very, very well. Now the pound, I'm going to go over the parabolic trends first, and then I'll go over the additional trades, if you like. So we can see that the pound Canadian, has moved up to a really important area of resistance. Was support, now it's resistance, and so therefore we can expect the price to move and roll over again into an ABC pattern, which we like. Might move up as deep, we don't know, 50% or 38.382%, could go either way, but nonetheless we are looking for shorts on this while it remains below the resistance line. All the sellers are in, so we do expect the price to go down to 172.85. We can look at the price action chart, see where it's at the moment. Wow, that looks really good. So okay, let me get rid of that. That was our target, and so we're just looking for the rollover now. This is price cycle at its very best. Okay, price action charts at their very best. You won't get better charts than this in the world. So here we go. So we do expect, what do we expect from this? So we do expect the price to break this blue line, and I do expect the price to break this support area here. Remember, if we wake up and we see a really narrow line here on the support area, that means there's going to be a big move. And if they separate, it means there's going to be consolidation. Look how wide they are there. Consolidation. Narrow, big move. Okay, remember that. It'll make a big difference to your trading success. So further downside is likely of giving the target. So you're going to see something like this to this strong low at 172.81. Let's go back to the daily. Yeah, very similar pattern for the pound Aussie as well. Sterling seems to be starting to go weaker. So we can expect price to move into an ABC pattern as usual. So we do see all the sellers in. This is a recent change. So you can sell that now if you wish. Let's do some maths. So we can do this. $1.3, we can do it to there. Okay, so 2 times risk. So you want to widen it out a little bit more. So you're looking at 820 pips on that one. Now what you're better off doing is using the price action charts over here. So because if you're happy to risk that to do that, happy days. What will happen is the trailing stop will speed up every day, and you'll soon be at break even. So what you can do here, look at price cycle. Not quite there, is it? So what you can do is wait for the price to come up after this divergence area, and there is a trend line here. So let me just go over this with you. So somewhere like this before it does this. So, but looks like it's setting up nicely for the next couple of days. Not quite ready yet. Pound New Zealand, again, we've got a lovely swing high price cycle into the downside. We can go to the daily. We can say, okay, what's going on here? Now, this is slightly different in that we do have a wave 4 setting up. So again, this is interesting. So we could see something like this move up and have a much bigger target if it does convert into an uptrend. In the meantime, while it's holding on to market structure, we expect it to go to 20785. Now, right, okay, so that's it for the parabolic trends. I want to go into some of these trades in terms of the purple now. I've done the euro, dollar, pound, dollar, gold, oil. So let's do these. Canadian Swiss. Yeah, that looks nice. So yeah, this is not parabolic. We can see by the number of buys in, but I think it will convert in the next few days. So this is now hitting this area here, which is, or will be in the next few days. And we'll have a target of the 618 extension at 59.29. One of my favorite trades this, because don't forget, we're talking about the correlation of the Swiss franc futures moving up into a wave 4. Remember, strong Swiss dollar, strong Swiss franc equals lower prices in these pairs. So this should be a nice trade in the next few days. Same with the pound Swiss, moving up. And as we can see, there's a nice trend line here, which I like. It might breach that, but if it doesn't breach it, it could immediately go down to target 106.47, the previous support area. Let's have a look at that in terms of the price action chart. Nice swing high there, which is great. Widen it out a bit so you can see. Yeah, so we can see that the price is moving up into an area which we're interested in, but I do need to see the price break this trend line here. Something like that, and then start to roll over in line with the Swiss franc futures. Aussie yen is one of my favorites as well. Let's go to the daily. We can see that the price is below the support line. Not parabolic yet, but I think it wouldn't take much to go into an ABC pattern, which is fantastic. This could convert really quickly. The C target has not been calculated yet automatically, but we could see this roll over very, very quickly. So in terms of price action chart, just dial down. You do need to see this going on. This is what you want to see going on. Price action charts will give you that information automatically, and you can see the trend line breaks as well. So there's a triangle formation forming You can see that. So what will happen is the price will probably drift a little bit and then it will go boom. So I'll let you know. I'll send you the signal when it's ready. Same with the Canadian yen, looking good, exactly the same. So these are my two favorite trades for this week. But what I need to see is the yen futures going up. If they are, it will drive these down. But the first thing I'll be looking at Monday, Tuesday is pound Swiss to the downside, Canadian Swiss to the downside, pound New Zealand, pound Aussie, pound Canadian, US Canadian, you should be short already. New Zealand USD to the upside, pound USD to the downside, euro dollar to the upside, and gold if it breaks heading for 2,500. Have a great weekend.